driving in the car, and it goes the whole way through the consensual sexual activity. She then takes that hour-long recording, and on her own, she self-edits it to make clips, well over 10 clips, that she labels and she names in her own words to paint this out as a rape. She does this. When she speaks to the police, she doesn't tell them she has an hour-long recording of everything. She only hits play on these very specific, very edited clips for the law enforcement officers. And what we learned when we went through her phone is she actually tried to and thought she deleted the full hour-long recording off of it. So she's portraying this incident to law enforcement. She blatantly lies. She manipulates the true evidence that is there, that full hour-long recording, and she never admits that that exists. Never. It's not until the police actually forensically search her phone, which is done, and that's when we find it. And there were multiple lengthy variations of that recording, all on her phone, in addition to these self-manipulated, self-labeled clips. So at this point, we now have the full hour-long recording, and we can listen to it. And keep in mind, the jury listened to it too. They heard everything. The date, the flirting, the laughing, the kissing, all of it. And the jury, 12 men and women seated in that box, deemed this to be consensual. And I'm sure there are some of you, and there are going to be people that watch this or read about this and question, why would she record this at all? That was my question at first. Why would somebody do this? It just seemed bizarre to me. Well, going through her phone evidence, and I can tell you, it took me about 4 weeks to go through her phone. And that's what I did every day, all day. That's how large the content of this phone was. It was pretty clear because she is a she would have her friends actually hold her phone on top of the defendant's phone and record how she spoke to other men. This was all over her phone, not just one or two others, multiple. And then, so there's your why, because what we also found on her phone is she stalked the victim on Instagram before their date. So she knew he was technically married, and then she discusses with our victim during the date on the recording what's going on, and the victim tells her he's separated. So she starts making this recording just like she does for every other man that she deals with, and now she has it. The difference is, in this case, she has to talk to her supervisor, and this now becomes, well, if I cry rape, I'll get out of getting in trouble. She didn't just lie about the recording. She didn't just withhold the recording. She tells other things to the police that are blatantly untrue. So she describes herself as being unfamiliar with alcohol, and as a result, she was so incapable of resisting that night. Okay. We would be here all day if I put up all of the evidence of her drinking and the other things that she lied about. So we focused on a couple for you. So this is going back to essentially 2 weeks. Before the incident we're talking about. Veronika Rodriguez to her friend. Yeah, fuck that wine, I feel like trash. I literally passed out driving. I vomited on the side of the road like a lot lizard. But hey, she's unfamiliar with alcohol. So New Year's Eve, so you're talking 8 days before this incident. September of 2022, bro, Frogs, the bar in question, is ghetto as hell, but old ass NCOs, meaning military personnel, be showing up to get eye candy for the younger girls. I showed up and got my drinks paid for and Irish goodbye. So she was there well over a year prior. Okay. And then she claims she was celibate. So she tells the police officers as they're investigating this case, I wouldn't have done this. I was trying to be celibate at the time. We found a message in September of 2022 where she says to her friend, I've been thinking, should I be celibate? And her friend, bad bitch again, says, why have you been thinking about it? And she says, I don't know. I like sex, but I also crave a man to actually like me. And I don't want my vagina to think for me. My vagina makes bad decisions. Consensual act because she doesn't sleep where she works. Her words. The problem with that is the voluminous evidence on her phone. So we used initials as best we could because it's not these men that are at issue here, it's her. But the person that actually recruited her into the Guard, married, she slept with him, and during her testimony, it was actually one of the most, I would say, shocking portions of it. She got on the witness stand, and one of the first things she talked about was that gentleman in that relationship. And she indicated she offered him, again, in her words during trial in front of this jury, she offered him a blowjob at the county fair. But hey, she doesn't sleep where she works. She has an ongoing relationship with NW, a fellow Guard member. There's an ongoing relationship with an Air Force officer. And right up until this incident goes on with the victim, she's in a relationship with JT, who is a sergeant in the Army. This is what she does. This is who she is. And keep in mind, she testified. She went in great detail about her version of events to this jury. And 12 men and women from this community, knowing nothing about this case, fully objected, didn't buy it. And there's a reason for that, because it wasn't true. And I was able to go up and watch a very small portion of this trial. And at one point she indicated, as she walked in to get that nose spray, so right past those two clerks who could have helped her with identifier later on. It was the most ridiculous thing I believe I've ever heard a defendant say on the witness stand. You have a cell phone in your hand, and you want this jury to believe you are so afraid you have to leave a finger and palm print on a mirror to make yourself physically safe. Also, she left that beautiful detail out in all the time she spoke to police. In addition to her testimony, there was the paid expert. So the defense had to go the entire way to Colorado to find someone willing to testify in this case. And when we did a deep dive on their expert, she's had prior verdicts where she testified, overturned based on her testimony. That's how great it's been. And even their own expert contradicted the defendant. So the defendant testified all of these details that she now remembers came out through some type of therapy. And when asked by our prosecutor at trial, how do you feel about that therapy? Their own expert said, I don't believe in it, I don't agree with it. Okay, but again, the jury heard all of this, all of it, didn't buy it. And I want to talk a little bit about in this case, because I don't know that I've ever heard of another set of circumstances akin or similar to what we have here. This is our victim, Todd Pervez. And when you talk about the man that this is, he enlisted in the Air Force, he served honorably in the military, he completed his doctoral residency at an Air Force base, and he was deployed to an active combat zone. So not only passed basic training. He served his country honorably for years, and he risked his life to do so. And look what happened to him. He's reprimanded for the fraternization, as he should have been. His name and his reputation. We pull some statistics for all of you. 1 in 5 women report being sexually assaulted. Every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. And when I go back to the way we filed these charges, every time that someone gives an untruthful, deceitful account, it brings greater scrutiny and it brings more doubt to those true victims. So you look at this person that every 68 seconds in America is sexually assaulted. The work of true sexual assault trauma survivors. It is disgusting. She should not only apologize to Dr. Pervez, she should apologize to every single legitimate trauma survivor because of what she has done to them. And not only has she ruined a good man's reputation, money she raised for this. $20,673. Every person that donated to this campaign should be asked for their money back. Every single one. I appreciate all of you showing up today. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the true evidence and the facts and the testimony that the jury heard. I also want to convey my deepest gratitude to our 12 jurors. This was not easy, this was a long trial, and every day that they take out of their lives to sit and do their civic duty, we do truly, truly appreciate. Sentencing for this case is set for August 20th of 2025. Her range in the felonies could call for incarceration, and there are 2 counts of those. We are asking for at least a modicum of incarceration. Veronika Rodriguez needs to realize there is a consequence for what she did, and that there is going to be a consequence for ruining a good man's life and his reputation. And not only for that initial report, but for the way she has remained steadfast and escalated the lies over the last however many months. There needs to be a consequence. So again, I appreciate all of your time. We are not taking questions today. The individual text messages and things from the screen will be sent out to you as a PDF. As soon as we get back to the office, we will do that. And if you have any follow-up questions from there, feel free to email me. But again, I appreciate all of your time today. Thank you.
You're not going to take any questions today?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm wondering why you've gone to Amy Muller's closing argument the second time when you've already gotten your conviction. Is there something special about this case?
Well, because I would imagine that not all of you sat through every single day of trial.
I think all of us did here. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. So, thank you.
Has there been any